and thank you very much. I'm looking forward to being part of it. Just by the way, everybody, this is a pretty interactive sort of thing. So I try to get everybody to interact as much as possible. So if you feel like, answer some questions or unmuting yourself at any point, just let us know. If you have any questions at any point, just jump in. It's not one of those, boring ones where you sit back and just, listen and listen. I get bored, okay? So just for everybody, my name is Josh. I'm a memory and confidence coach. So I help people to be able to learn new skills very, very quickly. If you have, courses or exams or anything you have, like, which all of you do have coming up, I can teach you how to be able to remember that sort of stuff with ease and without a sort of effort, right? So if you can improve your ability to be able to remember information, then you can learn anything incredibly fast, right? So a lot of us, we study the night before an exam and then the exam happens and you're like, forgot everything. Anybody been in that position before? Because I think most of us probably have, right? Yeah. So a lot of the time cramming is like the most useless way of studying, actually. So I'll be teaching you a few different things in this. This webinar is going to be mostly based on improving your focus and attention so that you can be able to improve your memory and your concentration for studying as well, okay? So if you do use these things, it will help you quite a lot. But if you don't, obviously, then it won't help you. So life is as simple as that. Stuff's simple if you do it. So let me try and share this screen really quickly. Where are you? You can share.
Screen. I just made you co-host.
Okay. Here we go. All right, let's start here. Can you all see this thing?
Yes.
Perfect. All righty. So I can see a whole bunch of me right there in the corner. I don't really even see that, but it's okay. All right. So in this presentation, you're going to learn a whole bunch of things. You're going to learn some stuff. You're going to learn some more things and some more stuff. Is that cool with y'all? Cool. Yeah, I hope so. Cool. All right. So we're actually going to go through. We're going to do a memory test. We're going to do some picture recognition. We're going to do some mass verbatim, which is very similar to something else. How to train your focus. We're going to create a memory palace. Okay. And if you've never seen any of these techniques before, get excited because they're helpful, right? So let's begin, shall we? I'm gonna get you guys to try and remember off the top of your head. Don't write these down. This is all about memory. Okay. So all I want you to do is try to remember these 10 different words I'm going to teach you. Okay. And if we do another session, then we can count it in the next one and see if you improved or not. However, for today, I just want to try and remember these 10 different items. Okay. Number one, we're going to go with some shoes. Okay. Number two is going to be a gun. Number three, we're going to do a door. Number four is going to be a tree. Number five is going to be some sticks. Number six is going to be an axe. Number seven is going to be an octopus. Number 8 is going to be a cat. Number 9 is going to be a glove. And number 10, we're going to go with some toes. Let's go with toes for number 10. So, did anybody remember all 10 of those items, just curiously? Anybody listening? Anybody want to jump in? I'm looking at the chat, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's pretty good. We got other people that instantly forgot it all. Nope, gone. That's fine. Pretty impressed. Got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm really impressed with that. Well done. Let's see if you can do that tomorrow, Sarah. You smarty pants. That is, I think that's actually in the right order. Pretty impressed. Well done, Sarah. You can leave the chat, by the way. You're good. I think you're fine. No, I'm just kidding. You're going to learn some more stuff. It's going to make it much easier in the future, right? All right. So the average person, just by the way, can only remember between 4 and 7 words or items in the short-term memory and in no particular order. So if I was to ask you without looking at the chat, what was number 6? You'd be like, it was a something, right? But if I were to teach you a memory technique, I can teach you 100 different things. You'd be like, what's number 86? You'd be like, that is that, right? So memory techniques help you to be able to store and organize information effortlessly. So if you ever need to remember information, you just go to the place in your mind You recall it kind of like a computer. You have the documents, you have your desktop, you have your pictures and videos. If you ever want to find a file, you just go into it, right? The same thing we can create in our own mind as well, which is pretty cool. So this one's for Sarah. If you did get the 10, you don't need me. You good. Nah, you're fine. All right, we'll do this next week if we have a get back to it. All right, so the following is a picture recognition test, okay? All I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to share the next screen, and all I want you to do is look at the following 30 images, okay? And see if you can remember all 30 of them off by heart, okay? Just let me share the screen really quickly. I'm apparently amazing at technology, so just give us a moment. Stop sharing. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 images. And where is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? Here we go.
Picture recognition test.
Whoa, stop. Where is it? I'm sorry, guys. I'm really bad at technology, apparently. Why is it not showing me? Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Can you all see me looking at you, looking at me, looking at you? Yeah. Okay, great. So I want you to look at the following images, and I want you to memorize all 30 of them in the next 30 seconds. Are you ready? And away. Yeah.
What I want you to do is try and memorize all these 30 pictures in 30 seconds. Ready? And go. How do you think you went? Do you think you can?
How'd you guys go? You think you got all of them? All 30? You reckon? Nope. Yep. Oh, Lord. All right. So just listen to myself speaking to you just for the rest of the video, because it's the exact same explanation that I would do. I'll tell you anyway. So, ready?
Oh, my heart. Well, if not, it's pretty okay. What we're going to do this time is we're going to show you one set of images you haven't seen yet, and one set of images that you have seen. And all I want you to do is think, which one did I see already? Ready? And
Left.
So how'd you guys go with that one?
Much better.
Did you remember all of them, or did you get a couple of wrong?
More than the first one, at least. And guys, by the way, everybody can unmute themselves. I don't want to be the only one.
I agree. You guys are welcome to unmute yourself. I'm gonna look at the chat.
you got all those images correct.
Stop it, Josh. There we go. Okay. Where's the chat? Where you at? Okay. So all right, 1 to 2 wrong, most of them wrong, most of them 4 wrong. See, that's pretty great, right? I just showed you 30 images in 30 seconds, and you were able to remember pretty much all of them, most of you guys, right? So if you thought that you had a bad memory, then you probably just proved yourself wrong. Am I right? So life isn't really about recognizing images when prompted. You know, like we have to be able to, you know, use that information deliberately when necessary. And there's a big difference between recognition and recall. Okay, recognition is when you're given a cue or a hint to be able to jog your information, your memory for that correct information. But recall is when you remember the information from your own mind without use of cues. Okay, so in the picture recognition test, what happened was your brain encoded that information so fast without you even trying to, right? But as soon as you saw the image, it was like, I know that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. But without the use of recognition, without seeing it, you wouldn't be able to recall all of them at once, right? This is kind of where memory techniques can come in. You will be able to, if you practice this sort of stuff, to be able to remember all those 30 images deliberately in the correct order if you use different memory techniques, okay? So, yeah, I'm just gonna go through this part of it. So here's a quick little definition of memory, okay? Memory refers to the process of taking information from the world around us, processing it, storing it, and then later retrieving that information when we need it, okay? There are three main processes involved in this. And we have encoding, which refers to taking information from our sensory inputs, like our touch, our taste, our sight, our sound, all the senses that we have. And then secondly, we have storage. So that refers to maintaining the information over time inside of our minds. And then number three is retrieval. And this refers to recalling the information when we need it, okay? So that's the main memory process in a very, very, very small nutshell, okay? Now, in terms of the picture recognition test, the one we just did, you were able to encode that information so fast, the first step. You were able to encode it so quickly, but you weren't able to recall it, which was stage number 3. Okay, so you got 1 and 2 down, but you don't know how to recall it. So generally, the biggest problem isn't getting information into our mind. The problem is getting it out, right? So if you all that are ever in exams or assignments or anything like that, when you need your memory real quick, and disappears, you're like, that's the problem, when it won't come out, okay? So this is what memory techniques allow us to do. Memory techniques involve creating recognizable cues inside of our own minds to be able to like recognize, similar to the picture recognition test, to recognize the information, to recall it when we need it, okay? So what I'm going to show you to do over today, next couple of weeks, if we ever get back to this, you'll be able to start creating these retrieval cues inside of your own minds to be able to recall pretty much any sort of information you want. Okay, does that sound good, everybody? Great. So the first and most basic ingredient in the entire memory process is focus. Okay, do you guys ever forget where you put your keys or your phone or your wallet or anything like that? Yeah, do you forget? Let me ask you a better question. If you weren't paying attention, if you were looking at cute cats on TikTok and you put your phone or your keys down, did you actually forget where you put those keys, or were you not paying attention in the first place to create the memory? You weren't paying attention, right? So you're not actually forgetting something. The most basic ingredient of memory is to pay attention and to focus on it, okay? So that's what I'm going to train you how to do mostly today. I'm going to give you memory technique at the end, but mostly we're going to talk about focus, okay? Super easy, super fun, super present moment, power of now, Eckhart Tolle stuff. Cool. So your brain is only able to focus on one thing at a time. I don't know if this is in the way. There we go. One thing at a time, everybody. One thing at a time. There's no such thing as multitasking. For y'all that are thinking, I'm so good at multitasking, the best way to get nothing done is to multitask, okay? I'll say that again. The best way to get nothing done is to multitask. Your brain can only focus on one thing at one time. There's no such thing as multitasking. If you think you're multitasking, what it is actually called is rapidly switching between tasks. That is the correct term for what you're doing, okay? And if you were trying to get stuff done, if you're consistently changing focus, your quality of work is going to be worse. You're actually not going to be paying very much attention, and it's really not very effective at all, okay? Your brain can only focus on one thing at one time. So focus, go. You'll be more productive and you'll get more done if you just allow this one thing to ruminate in your mind and to be able to start doing it, okay? Which is focus, all right? So I'm going to teach you 3 main techniques today. We're going to go through a Pomodoro technique. Some of you might have heard of it before in the past. That's verbatim. There is no way that you've ever heard about this before. And meditation. You probably all heard about this. And you're probably like, oh, geez, meditation. It's not what you think, all right? Not what you think. Just wait for it, okay? So firstly, let's go over the Pomodoro technique. This is the most effective way to focus and to get stuff done, all right? Most of you probably study or work for 4 hours and get about 15 minutes worth of work done because you're constantly checking this and going here and then here and then you're multitasking over here and like it's not working, all right? So the Pomodoro technique allows you to be able to focus on one thing at one time. This is going to help your studies and your revision so much. It's crazy, okay? You set a 25-minute timer. That's it. Set a 25-minute timer and you focus on one singular task, okay? If you're studying maths, study maths for 25 minutes. That's it. If you're replying to emails, reply to emails. If you are, I don't know, going to read a book, let's go with that. If you're going to read the book for 25 minutes only, okay? After 25 minutes is up, you take a 5-minute break, and then you can repeat that 4 times if you feel like it. You can keep going, okay? 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. This is going to increase your focus and concentration like to the next level, okay? And it's really important that if you get distracted, which you will get phone calls, you get people trying to walk in the room, be like, hey, what's up? You good? What's going on? So make sure that if you get distracted, which you will in the beginning, especially, you'll get distracted in the beginning, write it down on a piece of paper. Whatever the distraction was, write it down on a piece of paper. Say you got distracted by a cute little doggo walking across the road. Okay, write that down. Cute little doggo crossing the road. Or maybe one of your teachers walked in on you while you're trying to study. Write that down. Teacher walked in. Maybe your mom calls. Mom called. Whatever it is, write those distractions down and then get straight back to the one singular task. Just one. That's the one. Okay. Now, make sure to remove distractions. You probably all know this sort of stuff, right? Like, just don't have multiple things running. Like, you don't have Call of Duty running on your screen while you're trying to focus and study. It doesn't make any sense, right? You can only focus on one thing at one time. So just remove distractions, close unnecessary tabs, set up your environment for a place to be able to actually focus and be productive in that space, okay? It's very, very simple, but only do one task at once, okay? If you think you can do more, you can't. And you're going to get significantly more done for one thing at one time, okay? We good? We all listening? Great. I'm so glad you're all focusing on me right now. That's good. One thing at one time. Good. All right. We're going to do an exercise. Do you all have a piece of paper handy? Because that would be very handy if you did have that handy. That'd be great. Piece of paper and a pen. That's all you're going to need. So I'm going to give y'all a moment just to grab those 2 basic little things while I take a sip of water. Okay? Now, I assume that y'all have a pen and a piece of paper by now. No one's saying they don't, so we're going to continue. What we're going to do is we're going to set a 10 to 15 minute timer. It's like a mini Pomodoro. It's like a 15-minute Pomodoro. I'm just going to do it for 10 minutes though, just to show you, okay? What we're going to do, this is a really, really good way to be able to memorize your speeches word for word, okay? This is actually one of the main techniques that I used for my TED Talk a couple months ago. Was this specific exercise, okay? You can memorize thousands of words in an afternoon if you need to, okay? And it's also a really great example of how if you just focus and pay attention, your brain can remember some really, really cool stuff, okay? So all we're going to do, I'm going to show you a little script on the next page. And what I want you to do is write down the first letter of every word, okay? Only do one sentence at a time, first letter of every word, keeping your grammar, keeping your punctuation, like commas and full stops and capitals and all that sort of stuff. Keep that in, but just writing the first letter of each word, okay? And then what you're going to do is when you write down the first sentence, you're going to look at the letters only, not the script. Look at the letters and be like, try and read the words from the letters, okay? And then you're going to be able to read it, and then look away and think, what are the words? Nice and simple. First letter, read the letters, and then remember it without the letters. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Are we ready? Is everybody ready? Firstly, I want you to actually stand up and jump. All right? Stand up, jump around, move your shoulders, get the blood pumping, have a good little time by yourself for a second, because if you start slumping down like this, you're going to be real tired, real bored, and then your brain's going to link everything to boredom, which is not a very good way to remember stuff. All right. So move around, stretch if you need to, take a deep breath in, and out, and here we go. All I want you to do is look at these words here, and I want you to write down the first letter of each word, keeping punctuation and grammar. Okay, do one sentence at a time. I'm going to set a 10-minute timer and let's do it all together. You ready? 3, 7, 2, and go. Just remember one sentence at a time, okay? One sentence. Don't try to do the whole script, just one sentence at a time. First letter of every word, try to read the words from just the letters, and then look away and try to remember what the script says.
Sir, are we just doing the first paragraph?
I'm actually going to cut it in about 30 seconds, but it's going to be the whole thing. All right, we're going to cancel it in 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so that was only 5 minutes. Okay. Did you guys at least get 1 or 2 paragraphs done? Just curiously. Can you kind of recall it in your mind as well?
Yeah, I got in
I
3.
I
Yeah.
thought it was only the first one, so I just did the
That's all right.
first one.
That's okay. Were you? How much do you think you can memorize without using that technique in that paragraph?
I feel like I can get the first one pretty well, and
Yeah.
then maybe the second one.
Okay. Well, this is a really good. It's a really great technique to be able to memorize speeches and presentations word for word. Like I literally memorized a 2,000 word TED talk in a few hours from using this. Okay. I used also another technique which I'll show you later, and I mixed them both together as well. But it's crazy how well this works, and it's just using focus and attention. You're not doing anything else. There's no memory technique here. It's just focusing and you're paying attention. That's it. Okay. So if you ever need to be able to remember speeches and presentations or to be able to focus, then use this technique. Okay. We're gonna speed along here because it's already 4:40 right here. But we're going to do another quick little one. It's only a 2-minute exercise. Okay. 2 minutes. That's it. Y'all have got 2 minutes. Now, when most people hear about meditation, they instantly switch off. And they're like, oh, geez, okay, meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be spiritual, it doesn't have to be religious, it doesn't have to be anything like that, okay? All it can be is focusing on your breath, okay? A lot of people tell me that, like, I'm not very good at meditation, I always get it wrong, I'm not able to, I can't stop my thoughts, anything like that, okay? Meditation isn't about stopping your thoughts. It's not about getting rid of them. You never will, because it's just always there, okay? The thing about meditation is to be able to come back to focus and presence, okay? So what's going to happen? It's kind of like if you go to the gym, you do a rep down, you come up, you come down, you come up. Meditation is when you get distracted and you come back. You get distracted, you come back. You get distracted and you come back, okay? Meditation is coming back to now. Okay, and not allowing your thoughts to go into crazy directions. Okay, a lot of us get anxiety and we think about the worst potential case outcomes, the worst things that could possibly happen. Okay, what meditation does is it stops you running that narrative in your mind and bringing yourself back to the present moment. So, say you're focusing on studying your exams and you're like, oh, I suck at this, I'm never going to pass, I'm going to get everything wrong, blah, blah. And then meditation kicks in, you're like, oh, I'm back to now, and whatever that I was thinking about is gone. Okay. Meditation is about coming back to the present moment and overcoming that stuff. There's no such thing as bad meditation. And now all we're going to do is I just want you to sit here for 2 minutes. That's it, just 2 minutes. That's it. Nothing crazy. And all I want you to think about is your chest rising and falling when you breathe. That's it. Just feel your chest going in and out as you breathe. Okay, for 2 minutes. That's all we're gonna do. Focus on your breath coming in and out. Close your eyes. And I'm gonna set a timer. All I want you to do is your chest rising and falling. When you get distracted, come back to the present moment. That's it. Okay, that's meditation. You ready? We're gonna do 2 minutes only in 3, 2, 1, and go. When your mind drifts away, bring it back to the present moment. When you start thinking about anything other than your breath, come back to now. Just focus on your chest rising and falling. The breath coming in through your nose. Chest rising and falling. When you get distracted, come back. When you get distracted, come back. You get distracted, come back. And open your eyes. Now, how did that feel, everybody? Nice and easy? Is everybody able to do that? Notice when you get distracted?
For some reason, it was so hard for me to do it. I felt like my brain was shaking.
Mm-hmm. It's so used to thinking and taking control, right?
Yeah, it was difficult.
Yeah. And that was 2 minutes, right? So by the time we're 35 years old, 95% of who we are habits and patterns of our subconscious mind. And that sort of stuff just replays by itself without you trying to even do anything, okay? So you and I have between 60 to 70,000 thoughts every single day. 95% of those are the same as the day before. So if you have thoughts of anxiety and worry and nervousness, then it's 95% is the same as yesterday, okay? So if you're not able to silence your mind and still and quieten it down, then it's going to keep running you, okay? So it can be difficult in the beginning just to stop thinking and to stop your brain from disappearing and coming back and disappearing and coming back. But it's just like a rep at the gym. If you go to the gym, if you do a squat, it's kind of like painful, and went down, went up. But then afterwards, you build up that muscle, okay? It's the same with the brain. This is all meditation is, coming back to now. It doesn't have to be anything like, sitting there and being like a yogi or anything like that. All it is just bringing your awareness back to the breath. You can do that for 1 minute, 3 times a day. You can do 3 minutes a day. You can do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, up to you, however long you feel like. There are different meditations, but this is a really great way to be able to start in the world of meditation, okay? In the beginning, like anything, it's difficult. When was the last time you did something once and were amazing at it for life, right? It takes time to build up that skill. When you started walking as a baby, you fell over a lot. And then you got up, and then you kept walking. You fell over, and then you got back up, and you kept walking until eventually you could run. And then now it's just second nature for you. This is the same as meditation. When you start, it's difficult. It's bringing your awareness back. It helps you when you're having conversations with people to be able to be present and aware rather than being distracted and stuff all the time, right? In day-to-day life, meditation will help you, okay? And it's as simple as that. Just recognize your chest rising and falling, and that's it. When you get distracted, come back. That's it. That's it. There's nothing crazy about it, okay? So focus is realistically all you need, okay? And it all starts with attention. So meditation improves your focus. Your focus innately improves your memory. Okay, everybody? Just remember that. So let's learn a quick memory technique. This is going to be the last technique of the day. It's something that memory champions and memory athletes use throughout the world to be able to memorize thousands of digits of pi, decks of cards, foreign vocabulary, pretty much anything, okay? And this is what I also use to be able to memorize a lot of my courses. It's also something that I also attached with the mass verbatim technique earlier to be able to memorize my TED talk. I use this as well as the mass verbatim technique. And it works incredibly well. Your brain remembers locations very, very well. So if you think back to what you were wearing 2 days ago, what were you wearing 2 days ago? Your mind's going to do a couple of things. It's going to think about maybe some colors, but ultimately it's going to think about, where was I 2 days ago? Oh, I was in this place and this was happening. So there was a story attached. And then it was the location mainly. And then eventually the clothing will come up, maybe. But your brain remembers locations very, very well, okay? So memories actually store to location. So when you learn to harness this and deliberately use it, then you can make remembering anything very, very easy, okay? So all we're going to do is I'm going to show you 2 separate rooms, and I want you to memorize 5 different spaces in each room, okay? Nice and simple, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. Cool. Ready? Okay. What we're going to do is, sorry, I'm just going to close this. There we go. Okay. Firstly, The first position we're going to remember is position number 1 is going to be the window on the left. Okay, nice and simple, the window. Okay, position number 2 is going to be the sink. So just down from the window, we have number 2. Number 3 is going to be the floor. Number 4 is going to be this island bench thing in the center where we cook on. Okay. Number 5 is going to be the shelf on the side. Okay. So what was number 4? Oops. Anybody want to tell me what number 3 was? Yep. No need to raise your hand. Just unmute yourself. It's okay. Okay. So we have the 4. Okay. What was number 5?
Was it the shelf on the side? The
Very
right
good.
side.
What was number 2?
2 is the sink below the
Very
window.
Good. What was number 4?
Was it the tabletop? I think
Yeah, the bench then. Yep, that's it. And what was number 1?
the window on the left.
Very good. I see you guys in the comments, just by the way. I see them. Cool. So let's do one more room. Okay. Number 6. So we're going to go to area number 2. Number 6 is going to be the staircase on the left. Okay. 6 is the staircase. Number 7 is going to be this little coffee table down the center, the glass coffee table. Number 8 is going to be the sofa. Okay. Number 9 is going to be the table. And number 10 is going to be the painting. Okay. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What was number 7? Anybody?
The table.
The coffee table, right? Yeah, that's it. What was number 9? Very good. The table in the back. What was number
Dining.
6?
Stairs.
Very good. What was number 10?
It was the
Painting.
painting.
Very
Yeah.
good. What was number 8? Very good, everybody. Y'all smashed it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and remember some information of those locations, okay? So this is the introduction to memory bars, okay? So you're going to see very, very easily how your brain remembers stuff and locations effortlessly, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to create some crazy imagery along with this information we're trying to remember, okay? So number 1, we're going to try and remember some money, okay? So money is pretty forgettable in and of itself, okay? But if you imagine getting those big wads of cash on the side here at position number 1, throwing it against the window, maybe the window shatters and breaks because you threw too much money at it because you just loaded or whatever, and you just hear the thud of the money hitting the side of the window, okay? Maybe it's even coins, maybe you're throwing coins at the window, but all we remember is money, okay? Number 2 is going to be a burger. So imagine you're super hungry and you're about to eat your favorite burger, and it's in the sink, and the burger's just, the sink accidentally turned on and just made the burger super wet and dripping, and you're trying to eat your burger, but it's just like disgusting at this point, it's just dripping with water everywhere. That would ruin my day. I don't know about you. Okay, number 3, we're going to remember a heart, okay? But not just like a little emoji heart. Imagine somebody having a heart transplant on the floor, and the heart is like pumping on this side, right? And I'm going to make this even grosser, specifically to use emotion. Imagine there's blood all over the floor, blood just oozing out of the heart that's pumping, okay? It's very difficult to forget now because we've had some emotion, okay? Now, number 4, we're going to remember some books, okay? So imagine throughout all the cabinets, all of these drawers, all of the doors open and it's just stuffed with books. And as you open the doors for the cabinet, imagine you can smell that, that old smell of books in the libraries. Maybe, I hope some of you guys have been to a library in your life. Imagine opening it up and you can smell that old smell of books and paper, and you can just put your finger gently down the spine of the book as well. Make sure to feel the book inside of the cabinets here, okay? Now, number 5, we're going to use Wonder Woman, all right? Imagine that she's like super small, and she's like running and jumping over these little books here and jumping and like high-fiving this little dude here. And she's like running up and jumps on top of this little thing. She's like a little action hero running up and jumping on top of all the shelves, like doing some hurdles, jumping over, whatever she's doing. She's just having a great time jumping and playing, all right? All over the shelves, okay? Now, number 6, we're going to remember a water balloon. So imagine you're throwing a water balloon at the staircase, and all the stairs get super wet. And imagine the sound of the water balloon popping, and imagine the feeling of the water falling all over the staircase. Okay. Now, number 7, we're going to use some solar panels. So imagine this glass coffee table is just a big solar panel, and a big beam of light is just like falling onto the table here. And it's like a solar panel table, huge beam of light just charging up this coffee table. Okay. Now, number 8, we're going to imagine some suits. Okay. Some suits. Imagine that you've had a long day of work and you come back to the sofa and you take off your suit. Or imagine you just freshly pressed a suit, ladies as well, a nice little cute business suit or whatever, and you just ironed it, and you sit down and now it's all creased and crinkled everywhere, right? All over the sofa, okay? Number 9 is going to be a bridge. So imagine on the dining table is a big bridge, the San Francisco Bridge, and you're trying to like walk across the table, and maybe the table bridge breaks. Okay, maybe there's traffic all over the bridge, all over the table, and it's all backed up. Okay, and the whole bridge breaks. Now, number 10 is the painting, and we want to mention some eyes. So imagine you are getting super close to the painting, and you poke your eyes on the painting or something like that. Or maybe there's some eyeballs inside of the painting, and you poke the eyeballs or something like that. Okay. Now, imagine in your mind that these are all very, very vivid with sensory details and images and your actual 5 senses, your touch, your taste, your sight, your sound, all that stuff, okay? Now, what we're going to try and do is I want you to remember, what was number 1, anybody? What was number 1? Money, very good. What was number 2? Very good. What was number 3? Very good. What was number 4? Very good. What was number 5? Very good. What was number 6? It was a balloon, but it was filled with something as well. Water balloon, very good. Number 7, what was number 7? What was happening in position number 7? Very good, 7. What was number 8? Very good. What was number 9? Very good. And what was number 10? Y'all are smashing this. Awesome. What was number 4? Wow, you guys are killing it. What was number 9? Just curiously. Awesome, great. You guys are smashing this. Awesome. So most people, just by the way, just to refresh you here, most people can remember only between 4 and 7 items in no particular order at all. Okay, so you guys are already smashing those people. That if you don't have a technique, apart from Sarah here, the little, I don't know, she's a little freak of memory. It's amazing. Most people can only remember between 4 and 7 items. Okay. If I was to give Sarah 30 items, I would assume that she'd begin to forget them. But if you were able to use a memory palace like this, all you need to do is add extra rooms. So the room that you're sitting in, you could have 5 different places. The second room, 5 different places, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the only limit is the amount of rooms that you have. That's it. It's just as easy to do 10 items as it is to do 50 items. Okay. It's the same thing, same process, just as easy. But make sure you use rich imagery, use detail, use action. Remember how we use the motion for the heart pumping blood, stuff like that. Don't be afraid of your imagination. Whatever happens naturally for you, just use that. Okay. Mine is a little bit weird and a little bit funny because I'm a little bit weird, not really that funny. So that's just what my brain kind of does. But the more imagery that you start to use, the more the stuff becomes memorable. Okay, so make it weird, make it strange, make it all these sort of things, and it's much easier to remember. Okay, so this is a memory palace technique, and without actually knowing it, you've also memorized the first all of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations by 2030, just by basic association. Just by the way, so if you guys know association. Number 1, the first goal of Sustainable Development Goals is to have no poverty, right? So for me, poverty is an absence of money. So I just wanted to remember poverty, so I imagine money, and then I put it in a position of more of a memory palace. The second one is zero hunger, so I imagine a burger when I'm hungry, okay? So the second position in the memory palace is a burger. The third one is good health and well-being, so I imagine the heart to represent health. Number 4 is quality education, so I imagine books. Then number 5 is gender equality, so I imagine Wonder Woman, strong, independent woman. And as you start to go through the list, you'll imagine you can recognize the connections that I made. Some of those might be a little bit different for you because it's your brain and not mine, and you're going to think about different associations because you lived a different life to me. Okay, but when you create personal associations towards your memories, towards whatever comes up, don't worry about it. Just whatever happens, just use your own associations and your own imagination and memories. Okay, and it's fine. Okay, so your homework is to create your own memory palace. Okay, so if you've got up to 5 different rooms, or you can use a friend's house that has up to 5 different rooms or venues or whatever, I want you to create up to 20 to 25 spaces in the memory palace. So like room number 1, just before, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you can go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, you get the point, right? Up to 20 or 25, up to you how you feel. But as you start to be able to try and remember information for your studies and your exams, using a memory palace is going to be your saving grace. Okay, it helps you with active recall, which most of us, when we read our notes, we're just recognizing the information, kind of like the picture recognition test from the beginning, right? We look at the picture and we're like, oh, I know that, but you can't recall it without the picture, right? So the memory palace allows you to be able to recall the information from your mind rather than looking at your notes and be like, oh, that's what that is, and then forgetting it later. Okay, forgetting. Okay, so create your own memory palace. Try and start storing your own stuff through basic association. Whatever you're trying to remember, turn your key points into pictures and connect them in those locations, just like we did before. So remember, the poverty is absence of money. So I created money and I connected it to the window. And then zero hunger, when I'm hungry, I think about a burger. Okay, so as you start to do this, you're going to get better. The more you do it, the better you get, just like anything in life. But yeah, make sure to engage your senses, like your touch, your taste, your sight, your sound, your smell, all of them. Make sure to use them in the imagination, and as well as using emotion. Okay, information plus emotion helps to create a long-term memory. Okay, so you might remember your highest emotionally charged events, like your first kiss or your first breakup, or God forbid, a death of a loved one or anything like that. If anything is highly emotional, the brain pays attention. This can be happy or sad emotions. It can be happy or sad. You can use humor, you can use sadness, you can use scare, like fear, and that sort of stuff. You can use anything in your imagination. Your imagination is just imagination, so use it. It helps you to be able to remember information much easier, okay? So just to recap what we kind of learned today, focus is the mother of all skills, okay? And if you start to learn how to focus, then you're going to be able to learn how to pay more attention, and in turn, your memory is going to start getting better just as a byproduct of using it, okay? So remember, the Pomodoro technique was the 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, only one task at one time. The mass verbatim was 1 letter, the first letter of each word, and then meditation, we just focus on our breath. And then the memory palace we use to be able to remember information, recall it whenever we need it, okay? So that's actually pretty much for the presentation, y'all, but I just want you to consider this really quickly. Life is getting a lot faster. Information is coming at us very, very rapidly, and we need to learn how to be able to sort out that information. We need to be able to learn how to learn very quickly, because the world is accelerating, okay? Everything is getting faster and faster and faster. And the more that you can be able to learn, then the more you're going to be able to keep up when times change, when circumstances change, and they do change, and they're changing faster than they ever have, okay? Your ability to be able to learn is going to be the one thing that's going to save you and to be able to safeguard your future, your career, your happiness, everything, okay? So your ability to learn is going to be your saving grace. If you're able to learn fast, you're able to upskill and reskill yourself very, very quickly, and it's going to safeguard you in the future, okay? So I can't implore you guys enough to just think about learning how to learn. It's the most important skill there is. Doesn't matter what you already know. If you can learn something new, then you can increase your value to yourself, to society, to the workplace, every area of your life. If you learn how to learn, your life improves. Okay, so I just want to leave you guys with that. Do we have any questions? Let's open up for question and answer, shall we? Is anybody wanting to learn anything or to know anything before we finish it up? Or any comments or anything? We're still there? Anybody?
Nobody has questions for Josh?
Anyone? To advise on how to learn new languages. You can use something called a keyword technique for learning foreign vocabulary. So imagine you're trying to learn a new word. Let's go with Spanish. Let's go with hacer. So it's spelled Hacer, and it means to do. Okay, so hacer. You can imagine hat, and it's there. Like you're looking for your hat, and you're like, oh, there it is. Hacer, it is hacer. And your hat is on top of a to-do list, right? So on top of, under the hat is a to-do list. Hacer, there it is. Or you can imagine, let's go with seguir. Seguir means to follow, I think, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so imagine seguir. So imagine a cigarette inside of your ear. Sig in the ear, yeah? And then someone's like pulling you along to follow them. They're telling you to follow by pulling the cigarette out of your ear and following along, right? So what I'm doing is I'm creating an image and I'm connecting it to the meaning. Okay, image, meaning. Create an image, associate the meaning. That's the easiest way to do foreign vocabulary. In terms of like accelerating the process of learning a language, there's a lot of different ways, but generally immersion is going to be your best bet. So actually thinking in the language you're using, surround yourself by people who speak that language. Learn the basic like 20 phrases that are like the most commonly used. Make sure you pick the vocabulary that's the most used rather than just random stuff like, Jose eats apples or something, like you don't really need to know Jose eats apples, but maybe you need to know how to get around and use directions or something like that. So make sure you're deliberate about the vocabulary you use, it makes it faster. And then focus on memorization and memorize some different sentences and stuff like that. The comprehension and understanding will come over time, okay? So that's kind of like a really quick one in a nutshell. Anything else? Oh, apparently just sent an email. Okay. 10 tips on improving memory while playing memory game. What's memory game? Which memory game? Is there a specific memory game you're talking about?
Kirtika, what is memory game? Is it
Good game?
Is it like a board game?
When a person says a word, you have to continue the chain while remembering others said before. You can use a linking technique. So linking is like a story, okay? So say you're trying to remember chain, and then the next word is going to be picture frame or something. So you can imagine the chain smashing into a picture, okay? And then say the next one is an apple. So imagine the glass from the picture frame falling on top of the apple. And then imagine the next one is going to be, let's go with candle. So then you kick an apple and it smashes into a candle, and the candle explodes with wax. So you can imagine the chain hitting the picture, falling onto the apple, kicking the candle. So we're just connecting all the items through a little bit of a story. Okay, this is a linking technique. Once you get faster at that, you can memorize things like the picture recognition test we did earlier. So a picture per second won't be too difficult. So 30 seconds, 30 images in like 30 seconds or a minute will be much easier. So same sort of thing, just imagine connecting them through using story, imagine creating imagery, just like we do the memory palace. We use our senses, we use our touch, taste, sight, sound, all that sort of stuff, right? So make sure you connect it with the pictures and the senses, okay? That's a way to do it with the memory game. Anything else?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Josh, for
You're very
taking the
welcome.
time to come and speak to us. Everyone, if you would like to get in touch with Josh, Josh has left his contact details there. Really like the session and I learned a lot. Appreciate you taking the time to come and speak to us, and hopefully we can have you again in Mondays at Murdoch
Absolutely.
for
Absolutely.
another session. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, feel free to reach out if you guys want to do anything. If you want to do like maybe a group class, I can teach you how to remember all your exams and all your lessons and all sorts of stuff effortlessly and easily, so you're not pulling your hair out and all sorts of stuff. So just let us know and we can sort something out all together. But yeah, thank you very much for having me, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something. That's the most important part. And yeah, have an awesome evening ahead. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me, man. It's been fun.
Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.